This is what your Overwatch tank main says about you. So we're gonna start with Diva. So what do you feel like these degenerates? Obviously, I feel like this is the most degenerate of the tanks.
She has to be. I mean, these players live, breathe Mountain Dew and Doritos. Absolutely.
I feel like they definitely have a body pillow of her laying around in the room somewhere.
Oh, for sure. R/34, they're most searched up on the computer, for sure.
You know, if you go through a Diva main's browsing history, it's just gonna be ungodly.
The worst things imaginable.
I don't know. Like I every now and then you come across like a few cool Diva mains, but I feel like the majority of them are just the most absolute degenerates known to God.
Sometimes they'll DM your high noons, and then other times they'll just leave you to die, and you know, it's like that. Honestly, every time I look at a Diva bomb, I wonder what's going through their head. They just throw them up in the air, get nothing, and then die before they remake. I just don't get it.
Honestly, their remake gets more kills than their Diva bomb if you think about it. They ult just so they can remake on somebody. So what about Doomfist?
I'm not gonna lie, Doomfist mains are the coolest people in NA.
Oh, you play Doomfist so much. You're definitely hoping.
It's just because, like, listen, all the rollouts, they're kind of nerds. Doomfist mains are kind of nerds because they know every glitch wrong with him. They know every rollout on every map, and they still complain 24/7 about the hero.
Dang, you're definitely not calling anybody out for sure.
Nah, I'd never do that.
I feel like these guys know the map placement almost as well as Lucio players, if not more. Like, it's insane how much these guys live and breathe the map geometry.
They're playing like Tony Hawk Simulator. Every time they find a diag that they can go off of, they're just zooming. And I'm like, okay, like, you got that.
What about those Doomfist mains that actually are dog at him though? Like they live and breathe Doomfist, but they're actually just not him.
They might be the worst slayers on ladder. Even if they got 5 people countering them, they're in there.
If you get a Doomfist, it's either going to be a complete, you're just going to backhand the enemy team with his gauntlets, or he's just going to throw himself off the map or something. Like, no in between.
See, the trick is to tell if you have a good Doomfist player is how they use their ults. All the real Doomfist mains use it to either go on a health pack or get out. All the fake ones, they go and try and land on a Kiriko. Like, hello?
What about the Dami Mommy, the Junker Queen?
If you play Junker Queen, you're kind of a baddie. I'm not gonna lie to you. She's a fun hero, 1. 2, she's pretty hard to play. So, like, I kind of respect you. I gotta respect the hustle.
Are you saying, like, Junker Queen players are the hottest of the tank mains?
For sure, the hottest players in the tank main category.
Okay, you know what? I can't lie. I feel like that's accurate, like super accurate. I feel like they're somewhat degenerate, but in like a more subtle way, unlike the Diva mains.
Oh, for sure. They int a little bit, but they have a better understanding of when to get out, which is like I'm perfectly okay with.
I feel like their like mechanics though are pretty insane too. Not as insane as the Doomfist, but I feel like they're quite up there. I feel like they're like in the top percent, but not like a Ball or a Doom.
I agree. I do say Junker Queen mains, when they ult, they always think the team fight is winnable, even if they're down 4 players. So they will just burn their ults for no reason. Sometimes going off the map. Unlucky.
If you guys are enjoying the content so far, do me a massive favor and hit that like button and subscribe if you are new. Also, you can catch me live on twitch.tv/warstorm. I'll be streaming every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you want to see some awesome gameplay and guide videos, go check out my boy BdawgOW. Both his YouTube and Twitch will be linked down below. And tell me down in the comments section who your favorite tank is. Now back to the video. What about the Malgo players? I know he's pretty new, but I feel like we got a good feel for what they're like now.
I think Malgo players are low-key big babies. Whenever I get a Malgo on my team, they always complain about it's same thing as Roadhog. They always complain about anti-heal, and they always complain about this and that, and I'm just not here for it.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta think you're a big bulky tank that really isn't, I guess, defensive like capable. You're more offensive capable, and like your biggest downfall is anti-heal because that's all you rely on is your flipping supports to babysit you.
Honestly, I think Malgo wants to be the fake Chad compared to the Reinhardt players. I think the Reinhardt players have the Giga Chad mentality, and I think Malgo players are trying to leech off of that. He's got a fake charge, you know, he gets in there, no shield, and he's just not as cool.
He's trying to be the Giga Chad, which is Ryan, and he's just not it. He's not him.
He's not gonna live up to it, and I feel sorry for Malgo players who think they're gonna best a Reinhardt player.
Orisa though, the big bad horse.
The robot horse girl. I think honestly, I might have to put Orisa as the most boring tank in the game. game. I mean, like, if you play Orisa, you just like to bully people. Even then, you're not even that good at doing it.
You just rely on getting healed and babysat, right?
Exactly. Sitting in a corner.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, freaking Orisa's actually, I mean, she was kind of like the best tank in the meta at one point, and now she's just there. She just does stuff.
All I hear Orisa players do is cry. I don't have enough healing. I don't have enough healing. They're counter swapping me. Well, maybe you should switch. Maybe it's time to take a look into your inner self and switch off the worst hero.
BdawgOW hates you guys.
And I'm not gonna lie, I've not seen an Orisa ult ever get a 5k. Every Orisa player, they do one of two things. They either one, int and die immediately, or two, go for the really cool Orisa ult that is like pulling people off the map, but they always miss.
They miss and just die.
They always miss. I don't get it. They just die.
What about the Dami of Omnis himself, Ratra?
You know, I like Ratra more than Orisa. I can't lie. But I feel like Ratra mains, they're like the kind of guys that like go to the gym, take a picture, and then leave. They pretend like they're going to the gym. You know what I'm saying?
They just show up shirtless with a duffel bag that has nothing but probably their G Fuel.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're like the crackheads of their computer, and then they try and go outside and they just nothing. Nobody wants them. Absolutely nobody. I will say their ults are pretty big though. I'm not gonna lie. Every time I see a Ratra ult, I'm like, you know what? You go in there. You got that. They usually kill 3.
That's like the only thing he has going for him, honestly.
I agree. Yeah.
He's like, just press Q and win. It's that easy.
It's that easy.
Just press Q. That's all it takes. I mean, yeah, I feel like they are really, like inside they are a Giga Chad, but they're not as Giga Chad as the Reinhardt mains. The real Giga Chad himself, the Reinhardt mains.
Reinhardt players deserve the world and more. They're sticking with that hero through thick and thin. No matter how bad he is, they still playing him. And you gotta respect it.
Yo, Rein mains are actually the most dedicated tank main in the world. Like, I don't know. If it's just me though, like if a good enemy Rein just absolutely stomps my team, I can't help but to just feel like we deserved it.
If I'm going against a good Reinhardt player and, you know, he hits a rollout where I get pinned, I'm like, you know what? You deserve that kill. You're the GOATs. Like, my fault, man.
And if you have a good run on your team, I don't think there's a better feeling.
No better feeling in the world. I'd speed my Reinhardt across the map to let him do whatever he wants, to solo shatter whoever he wants.
And like, let's not even get started with like the King's Row Rein v Reins, bro.
Oh my gosh, the most respectful game in Overwatch history, honestly.
Let the men do the talking. We're just gonna watch, okay?
Let the tank mains cook. Let the Rein mains cook.
Reinhardt is definitely the most Giga Chad of all the tanks. Now we're gonna flip that on its head though, and probably the bane of my existence back in Overwatch 1. And I have more respect for him now, but I still hate him to this day to a certain degree. That's freaking Roadhog.
I've only had 2 experiences with Roadhog, and ones are the ones who hard carry lobbies and are like hitting every hook. The second one are the crybabies that anti-heal is in the game, and I just can't stand them, actually.
Oh yeah, the anti-heal is the bane of their existence.
Roadhogs always go, can you please go Kiriko? Like, bro, just switch off, go a better hero. I don't know what to tell you, man.
I feel like a lot of Roadhog mains though are a little bit misunderstood, just because Roadhog has been kind of like the redheaded stepchild of the tanks right now.
Oh, for sure. I totally agree. I honestly, I put him and Junker Queen kind of in the same category as like, they're like the tanks that want to be DPS so badly, but like sometimes Roadhog players can perform pretty well.
Oh yeah, especially a good Roadhog is actually terrifying. Even before the rework, they were just still using him and actually winning.
Whenever I see an enemy Roadhog, I'm either like, this is the easiest game of my life, or I'm about to get rolled. No in between.
What about Sigma?
You gotta like Toes to play this hero. There's no in between. You like Toes, you sing to yourself. You definitely are an active hummer. You know, I can see you whistling to yourself quite often. You know, you like to be alone.
And if you don't scream the famous voice line,
the universe, it sings for me! The universe, it sings!
then you're not him.
And honestly, one thing about Sigma mains is they're very good with their rocks. Whenever I see a Sigma throw a rock, I see them throw it from Narnia. It's like it's going through NASA's space station, and I'm just like, oh, they're hitting that. I'm like, good on them, man.
I feel like Sigma mains were like, God blessed them with the ability to be the best basketball player ever, but he also made them like 5'7".
They thought they were like the main character, the LeBron James, if you would, of Overwatch.
So they had to compromise. Play Sigma in Overwatch. Absolute the most baddest of three-pointer rock throws, but they can only do it in a video game.
Can't make any layups though.
So what about the absolute GOAT himself, the Tase Monkey, Winston?
I'm gonna be honest. I think Winston, one of the best tanks, one of the top tier mains. If you main Winston, I kind of trust you with my life. I'm gonna be honest. I expect you to at least get 2 most fights, honestly.
I feel like Winston players are actually probably the smartest, even though they don't require as much mechanics. It's the fact of the plays they pull off with what little mechanics they have.
I agree. I mean, it's just Winston. And you know, when Winston goes in the backline with his primal rage, I'm at least seeing a kill. Sometimes I see a Winston going for some juggles, a little questionable, not very good. But when a good Winston player is on your team, holy moly, you can feel it. You won't even have to play the game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, if you have a good Winston on your team, you can just, again, just like the Ryan mains, just kind of sit back and just watch the magic happen. But yeah, Winston. So what about the little jerkwad himself, Wrecking Ball?
Wrecking Ball kind of falls under the nerd category. I think if you play Wrecking Ball, you're always like...
My grappling hook is not ready yet. Give me a couple seconds.
And not the voice.
And you're kind of like the fake team leader that nobody asked for.
I feel like Wrecking Ball players are almost as nerdy as the Doomfist mains because of their mechanics, but at the same time, a lot of the Wrecking Ball mains are just actually garbage.
I agree. I mean, one Sombra player and their life is over. The whole game turns into...
Guys, can we please clear the Sombra off of me? I cannot play the game.
And it's like, bro, maybe you could just switch heroes. I mean, not on me, man.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I get a lot of Wrecking Ball players really do try their hardest. I'll give them that. I feel like they put in the most effort, but a lot of them just, they're not it, dude. They're just not.
I agree. I feel like most Wrecking Ball players sit in the custom games and go on every map to find out grappling spots. I feel like that's what they do the majority of the day. Spend 1 to 2 hours doing it, and they're like, all right, it's finally time to queue. And they lose like 12 in a row.
Okay, so what about Zarya, the Russian mama?
I think Zarya is for like the mid people. You know, you like doing damage, but you like playing defensive. I feel like Zarya mains are just kind of like there, you know? I never see them really in the spotlight ever. They're not the main character. They're always going on side quests.
Honestly though, like I feel like they're the most balanced, not in terms of like gameplay, but like they're just there. Like you said, they're very neutral. They're like the most neutral tank in the game.
Oh, for sure. I feel like all Zarya players, honestly, every Zarya player I've met, every Zarya main is very chill. I mean, like they're not too stressed about the game ever, but they're also not really into it either.
They're there to do their job, and that's pretty much it.
If they win, they win. If they lose, they lose. They go next.
That is one thing. That is one thing. Zarya mains can be stingy as heck with them bubbles, dude.
I'm saying, like, they're literally sitting there. I'll be like, can I get a bubble? Sorry, I already used both of myself.
Yeah, I think that's the only negative on a Zarya. But even then, a lot of Zaryas still try to look out for you. But like when they get really aggressive, like a really aggressive Zarya, yeah, like don't hold your breath.